Baker Mayfield had this to say after the game when it was noticed that he was. Do you ever see? You saw that Key and Peele video, right? Where Peele is Obama.
Yes.
And he's hugging people of color and extending his hand to people who are not of color, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So yesterday, Baker's doing all the hugs, the bro hugs, and then up comes Hugh Jackson, and out comes the extended hand, like he's giving him the Heisman. Very professional, like extended, like he didn't even bend the hand. It wasn't even like a Trump handed pull, you know. It's just a
it was just
extension,
like and then Hugh gave him like the head tap.
Head tap, and it was
wanted no part of it.
Literal arm's length.
Wanted no part of it.
So Baker was asked about that after the game.
Left Cleveland, goes down to Cincinnati. I don't know. That's just somebody that was in our locker room asking for us to play for him, and then goes to a different team. We play twice a year. Everybody can have their spin on it, but that's how I feel.
Okay. Let me handle this one at a time. He didn't leave Cleveland. He was asked to leave Cleveland.
Sure.
It's a big difference, okay? It's a big difference. And Baker, as he goes along his professional playing career, will see a whole bunch of coaches who either lose their jobs or leave for another job, a better job or whatever. But this is what you get with Baker Mayfield, who is a young stud who is waking up dangerous every day now and is dangerous. And the Browns are going to follow his id as far as it will take him and them. So that's his id on display. And what it also is again, like, look, Hugh Jackson has every right, once he's fired, to go find another job as soon as he possibly can.
Sure.
All right? But what that says to me is they thought he was fake. They thought there was something about him where he wasn't either really all in with them or he didn't make them feel that they were all in with him. They weren't buying in. Shocked the world. He won 2 games in 2 years, right? So they weren't buying in. And so they thought him going to Cincinnati right away just showed how fake he really was. That's the way I'm viewing it. That's the way I'm looking at it. And it certainly didn't help the minute that he was fired. He goes on First Take. He goes everywhere. He does the FS1
everywhere.
car wash. All right. And he's talking about, what should have happened with Carson. Well, how do you think he feels when he says that we passed on Carson and passed on Deshaun and Mahomes? How do you think that makes him feel? When he's there and he's the one changing the culture. And I bet you he gave voice to what a lot of people in the locker room thought and said, and I'm sure they are rallying around Baker freaking Mayfield.
I'm sure he wasn't shy about saying it in the locker room either.
So he's off, and the fact he has every right to do that, and I think he will understand that as they matriculate their way. But 2 things. Guess who's not currently drafting in the top 5? Guess who's not currently drafting in the top 10? Guess who has, as an interim head coach, won more games than he's lost so far? That would be the Browns and Greg Williams. And guess who's in the hunt? When you see the playoff picture, and they got division, wild card, and the old in the hunt. Who's in the hunt? The 4-6-1 Browns are in the hunt, people.
I mean, they're
in the hunt.
They're in the middle of the hunt.
They are in the hunt. And guess what? A nice piece of filet mignon in weak Baker's dozen with Baker Mayfield visiting Deshaun Watson. That's what I'm talking about in the NFL in 2018. Mayfield is today's news, and there's a lot of yesterday's news, and he ain't it. But Hugh should be able to take a job wherever the heck he damn well pleases. How great is that going to be when he comes back to Cleveland, if that's the way they feel, handing him intercepted balls and extending arms all the way out and then trolling on him after the game's over? How's that going to work?
I love it.
When he visits Cleveland 2 days before Christmas.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.